Hello, hello, hello. I am Josetta Yvonne, your abundant life and divorce coach, coming on for a quick moment with a quick message on this Wednesday. I hope this video finds you well. So, in addition to my lock journey video, I wanted to come on and do a quick, it's on my screen here. Okay, there we go. I want to come on and do a quick pros and cons list of having locks. And these are just things that you should consider or process or think about before you get locks, because it's just a very real thing. And this is just my opinion. So we'll start with the cons first. The bad. So I made a list so I wouldn't forget anything, but we'll go through it real quickly. The first con is build up. I've seen people talk about they haven't gotten any kind of build up, they haven't had any kind of issues, which is really amazing. I cannot say that. I have build up currently in my locks now from choosing the wrong product. I used to always use Jane Carter solutions. When I first started, I didn't have any issues, and then she stopped making her lock twist products, and I tried some new ones and some other things, and it's now I literally have to figure out how to soak and get this out of my hair. And I've soaked it before, but things don't just come right out always to the top. Also, lint. I love cream sweaters in the wintertime and cardigans. And so the longer your hair gets, that white lint from your sweaters in the wintertime can get caught and trapped in your hair and embedded in your hair. The other con I would say is sometimes you want to wear really sleek styles. Like, I think about how when I would get a fresh perm, how my hair would lay a certain way, and I would want to do really like a nice bob look with a tapered look. I think sometimes you just miss the straightness of the hair from when you used to have those short tapered looks. Not always, but I definitely sometimes miss, like, oh, I remember those cute little pixie cuts I would wear, because that's just not an option. I haven't seen anyone with a pixie cut bob with locks. I've seen a bob, not locks, with pixie cut. Maybe that's the beginner phase, but most people don't like the beginner phase. Anyway, the next one. Another con is people's perception of you personally and professionally. If we're being honest, everyone does not approve of locks. And that goes for actually all cultures. Even there's Black people that frown upon locks as well. And some people automatically associate it with a form of negativity. Some people, may think, oh, she is a hippie, or they, like to get high, or whatever stereotype they have in their minds. Some people automatically assume because you have a lock hairstyle that you are that way. And professionally, people may deem it as an unprofessional hairstyle and may choose not to hire you. Now, I do know in California they have the Crown Act that is a protection for people and women that have their hair in natural hairstyles like locks and afros. Um, but that is not a law that is in all of the states. That's in California. I know there are some cities that have put that into place, but it is not nationwide. You can be discriminated against because of your locks, because someone feels they're unprofessional and they just don't like that you have them. So they may choose to not hire you or interview you, because now you can go on LinkedIn and see how your professional profile looks, and they can see how you look there, or if they choose to Google you and go on your social media pages that you have. There's ways of people finding out, how you look, and they may choose to discriminate against you because of your locks. Another con that may be to someone is it is really a commitment. Everyone doesn't like commitments. I was a person before I got locks. I went to the hairdresser probably every week or every other week. Actually, I'll say that's before I became natural. Before I became natural, I used to go very often because I used to like to get different hairstyles. I would, like I said, I would have it long, then I would go to a pixie, then I may get it colored and then rod it, then I'll add extensions, then I'll, do something that's asymmetrical. I may do like the finger waves. I was just doing something probably every other week. So I would go to the salon quite often. And when I transitioned over to my natural hair, which was an afro at first, and then into this, that changed, because there was just certain things that my kinky curly hair could not do. I could not do the wave styles without having to first apply heat to it, and then even when I put the wave in there, it would not hold very long without the products. So it is a commitment once you transition to your natural hairstyle, and locks, because it's permanent. Another con is that if it is over manipulated, if your stylist is over tightening your hair, it can cause damage to your scalp. I've seen cases where people talk about getting alopecia and having scalp damage where they're balding. I've seen where also like the weight, because as your hair gets longer, it gets heavy, and as it grows out, I've followed some young ladies on Instagram where they said they've had neck issues with their locks because they're so long and heavy. They're like down their back, so they've given themselves an undercut in the back and shaved off the back and left the top part long to kind of help give themselves some kind of neck relief. I remember a young lady she was in Essence magazine. Her locks were to the floor almost, but it seemed like almost debilitating because of the weight. And so she was kind of humped over her back. There was some curvature there with her back because of the weight. For me, it's not that serious. If I plan on trimming mine soon anyway, if I can't get some of this stuff out of it. But anytime when it comes to our health, I don't think a length is that important when it comes to my health. I prefer to be healthy than to have long flowing locks to the floor or to my butt. Yes, they're beautiful. They're very pretty when I see them on the people, but I just don't think that adds to my happiness if my health is taking a hit because of the weight of my locks. Another thing that is a con, the heaviness. I remember this lady I worked with, she was having migraines all the time because of the heaviness. And I think because she would a lot of times put it back in the bun because she wanted it to look professional for work. So she would slick it back in the bun, and she was having horrible migraines. And also, I think because of the weight, it was causing it was like really thin appear all throughout her head, really. And so her doctor suggested that she cut them, that she trim them down because of her ongoing migraines that she was having. And when she trimmed them down and off, she didn't want to. It took her a while to do it, but she finally did it. She stopped having the migraines. I believe it's because she was having that constant, like I said, pull back, want to look professional, ponytail, and it was just the weight. It was just too much on her. And if you ask anybody, if you put your hair in a top knot and your locks are longer, actually I see some girls that are way longer than mine, because this is just 11 years, and this isn't even 11 years really, because I've trimmed these before because I used to have it dyed. They have said yes, like when your hair is wet, when it's not wet, it's just, when it gets really long, it's just heavy. Another con is that if you work outside in the elements, they can be very hot. I mean, even when I walk, if I walk later on the day to go a quick walk around the neighborhood, his hair is very hot, it's heavy. But also, I had an associate, I don't know how, I'm assuming he mustn't wash his hair or check his hair or what, but he worked in the elements a lot. And things can just, your hair, when you're natural like this, and he didn't retwist his hair a lot. I don't retwist mine a lot either, which I need to do better about that. Some kind of way, flies had, I don't know, I guess laid an egg in his hair. He didn't even know it, but he was having these headaches, and he ended up going to the doctor. They can't figure it out. They, looked at his head because he kept saying how bad it hurt, how bad it was. And turned out there was maggots that had burrowed down into his scalp. And so he had to cut his hair all off. And so I'm not quite sure how, it got to that point. But I know he works outside in the elements. And, if you are someone that works outside, and if you're not tending to your hair as you should, washing it and just knocking stuff out, running your fingers through it, then, insects or anything can, get in it, You have to be careful, because without straight hair, it's not just sliding out. It can get tangled up in your locks. Drying time. As they get longer, they take longer to dry. You have to be careful of just letting them sit there wet, because I have heard of people talking about mold and mildew in their hair. I haven't had that issue because normally I'll go outside in the sunshine and let mine dry and pull it apart. But I have heard of people, going to bed with their hair wet and waking up with, a smell. Because, sometimes it will hold a smell. So be mindful of that. And as I said before, if you don't like something or a commitment, you have to remember this is a permanent hairstyle unless you choose to comb it out. And even then, the integrity of your hair will be different. You will probably still have to trim it, because if you comb it out, you're not gonna be able to maintain all this hair because it's gonna be shedding, and you'll have to possibly cut it down. So let's get to the pros. We're gonna end it on a good note. No bad hair days. Like, to me, there is no bad hair days. I wake up, I add a little refresher to my hair, rose water, and I've actually used the Miele Organics refresher spray as well, and go. I may pin up the side, but there's no bad hair days ever. Number 2, the pro. I feel like the hairstyle has brought me freedom. Freedom from my hair salons, of sitting in there all day. The freedom to be able to just go on YouTube and learn how to do a style, or Pinterest. Freedom in my time. Freedom in my mind. I feel really free with the hairstyle. I don't feel like I have to make it to the stylist. I have to sit outside and wait for them to come. And if they don't come, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a bad day because my hair isn't done. None of that, exists for me anymore. So it is a level of freedom that I feel like I did not have when I was getting my hair straightened. Yeah, because this is just how it grows. Number 3, I'll add to that too. When I say freeing, I just thought about this on my notes, because when it rains, I don't have to run through the rain anymore. I'm not afraid that my hair is gonna frizz back up or my whole style is gonna fall. In the pool, I'm not afraid of messing my hair up like I would be with my press and curl or my perm, where my spirals will fall, so that is freeing as well. It's low maintenance. I already mentioned this. It's a cost save on my pocket and a time saver. I'm not putting out, hundreds a month to go to the beauty salon and sit and be serviced. I would say it's even a confidence booster, because I'm comfortable in my skin and the hair that I'm in. And for a long time, I was, like I said, getting my hair permed, and just changing it, which I felt confident then as well. But I guess I was more confident with the finished product, not with the product that I just woke up with. So I think that is a difference. I will say also, through the transitions from the various stages, from the shortness to the length, it has cultivated patience in me. I've enjoyed the journey, and I'm still on the journey right now. It's felt very sacred. It has felt spiritual. I feel like I am more connected with myself. There is a self-awareness that I think I have been able to tap into, that I don't 100% know if I was really tapping into before, because of, I don't know, the I don't know, the constant in and out, the hustle and bustle of a shop. It's just a lot of hustle and bustle. For me, it was anyway. I know there's some awesome shops out there that get you in and out, but those are not existing everywhere in abundance. And at the end, I'll say also, it feels like it has been a strength and a superpower, you know, to walk around as myself, as my hair grows out, and just be myself. On my previous video, I mentioned to you guys that I started my journey a little bit after watching the movie Good Hair, Bad Hair, and it made me re-question why I was always straightening my hair and why I did not just try to wear my natural hair. And with that, you know, he was just talking about the hair industry and how much money we're putting into it, like millions, probably billions now, you know, because I think hair is even more expensive now, especially with all the units and everything. At that time, you know, we were mostly getting sew-ins, and I know I would get like micro braids, which was like maybe $250 at the time for the micro braids, maybe $300 for my full sew-in with a little bit left out. But people talk about paying thousands now, so they are paying exponentially more than I was paying then. But yeah, it is a journey that I have truly appreciate. And I think whether you decide to lock your hair or not, just ask yourself why. Why do you want to do it? And be ready to commit to the process. Don't be discouraged. You know, it goes through various stages. I think my favorite stage was probably when mine was like right here, because it felt like it was almost like a bob. And as it's gotten longer, now to me it's just kind of flat and straight. So I need to actually, I would like to trim it and maybe get some volume into it or put some curls in it or something. But yeah, I think it is something to consider if you don't mind committing to it, if you don't care what others think about you, because there will be some people that judge you because of it. And, you know, I guess everybody has their opinions. I choose not to judge people, whether they wear it natural or straight. I think, you know, whatever you choose and whatever gives you the most confidence is beautiful. And also to me is you can always go back if you want to. Like if you wanted to try it out, I tried it out first with lock extensions, and then later on I did this. But going back is an option. If you don't like it in a few years, which some people don't like it, they feel like it doesn't fit their face. I know one of my friends was like, my face looks bigger. You know, like everybody has different things they notice. And I will say, when you do this, your face does stand out. Like, you know, because it's just out. You don't normally I wear a swoop with bangs and all that, but when it's like this, it doesn't flow that way anymore. So it does make your face stand out. But yeah, I think that is it. I hope you have an amazing Wednesday. And like I said before, I know you'll choose whatever is best for you. But remember, although it is a permanent hairstyle, you can always cut it off if it's not what you like. One more thing I just thought about. It was like a coach friend of mine that I worked with. I didn't even know she had locks for a long time. She was going in and getting her locks cornrowed to her head and getting sew-ins. And then one day she was like, I was doing something and she said, "Oh, I like your style." And I said, "Oh, thank you." And she said, "You know, I have locks." And I said, "You do?" I had never, and it was like over a year, I had never seen her with her locks out. Was it maybe a year and a half? It was a long time. So I just thought she liked to wear sew-ins because she always wore her hair straight. And she said, I think I may take my wigs and my sew-ins out and start wearing my locks because I like how you just wear yours. And I was like, I didn't even know you had locks. Like, that's how good, you know, these beauticians are. You can have your locks cornrowed to your head, and they were able to sew in her weaves. And I had no clue she even had locks. But anyway, I don't want this video to be this long. Have an amazing Wednesday. I'm gonna go get me some coffee and get back to work. Speaking inner peace over you, positivity and power. Have an amazing day. Take care. Bye-bye.